Earth was warm under me, and warm as I crumbled it through my fingers. I kept as still as I could. Nothing happened. I did not expect anything to happen. I was something that lay under the sun and felt it like the pumpkins. And I did not want to be anything more. I was entirely happy. Perhaps we feel like that when we die and become a part of something entire, whether it is sun and air or goodness and knowledge. At any rate, that is happiness, to be dissolved into something complete and great. When it comes to one, it comes as naturally as sleep. This is a passage from My Antonia, Willa Cather's greatest novel. My Antonia is about the people who risk their lives and fortunes in a harsh new land. Cather had the good fortune to have lived among the first generation of settlers in 1880s Nebraska, and she gives witness to their time and place. Novelist and Nobel Prize winner Sinclair Lewis praised Cather's work for making, as he said, quote, the outside world know Nebraska as no one else has done. Cather's Nebraska novels vibrate not only with the spoken language of ordinary people, but also with the visual images that help a reader truly to see a place. Willa Cather was born in 1873 in Virginia, but in 1883, when she was 9, her family moved to Nebraska. Nebraska was still on the frontier, and the years Willa Cather lived there proved deeply formative. Like Jim Burden in My Antonia, the young Cather saw the Nebraska harsh frontier as a place where there was nothing but land, not a country at all, but the materials out of which countries were made. Between that earth and that sky, I felt erased, blotted out. Willa Cather's first stories were published in McClure's, which also serialized her first novel in 1912, Alexander's Bridge. Most reviews were favorable. The New York Times praised the dramatic situations and the clever conversations, and the Atlantic Monthly called the writing deft and skillful. Cather followed with her Prairie trilogy, starting with O Pioneers in 1913, which established her American reputation. As one critic stated, "Here at last is an American novel, redolent of the western prairies." The Song of the Lark appeared in 1915 and cemented her reputation. And then, in 1918, came her greatest triumph, My Antonia. Critic H.L. Mencken said of the book, "No romantic novel ever written in America, by man or woman, is half so beautiful as My Antonia." In 1920, Willa Cather won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction for the novel One of Ours. However, some critics have charged Cather with being out of touch with her times and failing to use more experimental techniques, such as stream of consciousness. I find these criticisms to be spurious. She was what she was. During her lifetime, Cather saw one of her novels, The Lost Lady, reach the screen twice. First in 1924, starring Irene Rich. The second version appeared 10 years later in 1934 and starred Barbara Stanwyck. After she saw this last version, Cather vowed never again to sell to Hollywood. Two notable adaptations of Cather have reached the small screen, the first being the 1991 production of O Pioneers starring Jessica Lange. 1995 saw the television adaptation of My Antonia, a faithful and satisfying translation to the screen. In 2012, a musical based on the novel made it to Off-Broadway. In an essay entitled The Demands of Art, Cather makes a revealing statement about the vulnerability of the artist. You have then to give voice to the hearts of men, and you can do it only so far as you have known them, loved them. It is a solemn and terrible thing to write a novel. In the same essay, she also wrote, "The stupid believe that to be truthful is easy. Only the artist, the great artist, knows how difficult it is." Willa Cather died in 1947 at the age of 73. The inscription on her tombstone is a quote from My Antonia. "That is happiness, to be dissolved into something complete and great." Hello everyone, Jim Hitt here again. Today with some final words about Willa Cather and My Antonia. As a reader, we're all affected by certain books. Sometimes the effect is indelible. It stays with us forever. Certainly for me, there was A Farewell to Arms by Hemingway, Light in August by Faulkner, certainly John Steinbeck's East of Eden. But one book stands above even all of these, and that's My Antonia by Willa Cather. In my new book, The Courage of Others, I think Cather is the main inspiration I drew as I wrote the book, that and To Kill a Mockingbird. There are other great Cather books too, certainly Death Comes to the Archbishop. But for me, the book that stands in my memory and my heart is My Antonia.